Welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious Journey podcast. I'm Drake
Yes,
Allen.
it's another one. And I'm Daharan. So I kind of jumped in there early a little
Hey,
bit.
we're that excited. We're that excited to be back for another
Exactly.
episode.
Yeah.
Man, we're wrapping up 2020, getting that much closer. We're a week from Thanksgiving. So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, 2020 seems to be just being 2020. It's one of a kind. Everyone knows about that Christmas tree they put up in New York City every year. Man, they messed that up.
Oh, okay. Wait. Before we say that, dude, do you remember, all right, back in March when everything was like, I guess, kind of coming to a head?
Yeah.
And March felt like the longest month ever. Like, that legit felt like a year.
Yeah, it did.
And then, like, all of a sudden, I don't know, did I feel like time now we're like, boom, Thanksgiving right here. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's crazy. I just remember just sitting here like, what do I do?
and here I am starting the episode off by saying, let's skip Thanksgiving. Let's talk about New York City Christmas.
Yeah. No. Oh, because by the way, I know I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Because what in the hell is that?
Bro, I don't know.
Like,
so for everyone that understands, New York City has
you sent me that and I was like,
and it's outside of Rockefeller Center, and that's kind of a staple to New York City Christmas time. Everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
And then finally they cut this tree down, and by the time it got cut down and transported, it lost about everything. Because that thing looks like it has been through hell and back, maybe through
like
seasons.
The whole bottom like three I guess rows of branches are just bare.
Yeah.
Like
it looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Like,
yeah,
that's what it looks like.
It's, and the fact that they still put it up, like, why put it up?
Yeah, just go ahead and get a new one.
Like, we have a month and a half until Christmas. You got time.
Yeah.
You like just tell people, just like everything else in 2020, delayed. It's delayed. Just you could have been like, hey, yo, look, okay, it looked kind of rough. Like, we want it to look right. At least one thing, get one thing in 2020 right. Like,
man, I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
This year is just everything is every day something new.
Day. It's just one thing after another, one after another. And it's kind of funny because at the beginning of the year, I just remember I think it was last Halloween, like everybody was so excited about this year because like Halloween was on like a Saturday or something like that, Saturday. Friday the 13th was like on like a weekend day. Thanksgiving is obviously on a Thursday, and then I think Christmas is on like a Friday too, like something like that. And like, this is gonna be the best year ever, blah 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 blah. Well, you have these people on this side saying that, then you have the other people on the other side romanticizing the 20s, and they're like, because we've had the movies like The Great Gatsby and stuff like that, rolling through, and they're like, I just wish I was back in time. Now we got a freaking pandemic, close to a recession. Like, so it looks like those people on that side are getting exactly what they asked for.
It is,
but that's not to be insensitive to anybody with COVID. I hope you guys are safe, but it's just it's so crazy how this year has been.
What a start to a decade. Not what we thought, but hopefully it ends. Hopefully the decade changes.
And hopefully it gets better at some point to where we can even say
hopefully we at least get through the decade. Let's like at least get to that point. Hopefully 2021 is not a sequel of this.
Yeah. Well, there's two things I kind of wanted to bring up. I wanted to talk about the Candace Owens thing, and I also want to see what you thought too about the vaccine thing.
Yeah,
we can talk about that in a minute though. So let's talk about Candace Owens first. So for anybody that doesn't know or did not see, so Harry Styles made, I'm pretty sure they said history, as the first guy to be on the cover of Vogue, as a solo model, and he chose to model. I don't want to say women's apparel, but he chose to wear a skirt and a ballroom gown. So these were his choices, or this is what he chose. I'm sure he had any number of choices of things, and that's what he chose. And so there's 2 points that were brought up was that I don't think it was Vogue, but Jaden Smith had first wore like more women apparel or like women
Yeah.
type apparel on the cover of a magazine, and he wasn't as glamorized for it. They said he was more demonized than glamorized, but that kind of plays into that race thing a bit.
Hmm.
And then Candace Owens has a point of she's saying that she wants a return of masculine men, and that just started this like, I mean, this whole thing on Twitter, this whole cluster,
Hmm.
you know what, like
Yeah.
on Twitter, like it's just, dude, they ate her up for that, bro.
So the biggest thing with this with me is like this. So you mentioned Jaden Smith. I automatically think of like Young Thug did this. Um,
Exactly. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
but then it goes back even further. Kurt Cobain
Mm-hmm.
did this in the 90s. Prince did it
Right.
in the 80s. Dennis Rodman married himself in a wedding dress. So,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Still, Dennis Rodman still does some weird stuff
thank you.
now.
Thank you. So I'm just saying right now, like the fact that people are like, we need the return of masculinity. Like, so famous people have been dressing how they want forever, and they're gonna do
Exactly.
whatever it takes to get attention, and they're gonna do whatever it takes. And like,
Right.
this is
And
nothing new. Do what you
you
do, bro.
see, so all right, so me, I see what she's saying, and I'm a Candace Owens fan, just to the sense of she makes some good points. I think sometimes she can be a tad bit tone deaf, and she kind of says some things like out of place.
Mhm.
And you're like, see, if you would have just either waited or said that just a tad bit differently, it would have been received better. But she just, I don't know, she kind of just gets going on these things, and she's so smart that it's kind of like it can. Some people take it. They're going to take everything she says in a wrong way just
Yeah.
because of like who she is. Um, but when she said that, though, like I, I had that same thought you had. Was, I mean, is this really that strange
No.
that these guys like, that they're doing this? We always see kind of Hollywood type people do questionable stuff anyway.
Hmm.
Like, and they always kind of write it off as, oh, it's fashion,
Hmm.
or when you get this much money, you'll know what fashion is, stuff like that. So you're like, okay, all right.
Well, that's the other thing is like you get that much money, you can dress how you want, and it's
Yeah,
not a problem. Like you do as you please at that point.
right. But I think Candace Owens kind of was speaking from what we were saying, how this year seems like things are already spiraling like so far out of control. And I think that was the thing that kind of, I don't even think it was that big of a deal for her, but people just in general, like she kind of like made things come to a head for them, to where they were like, oh, what you said? Don't you know it's 2020? Blah blah blah. There is no men's and women's clothing. It's just like
Yeah, it's
that
just
whole
clothing.
thing. Yeah, and you're like, and she was like, and her point was basically like, I'm tired of being like force fed this type of agenda. Like, if that's what you like, cool. That's what you like. Nobody has to force it. That's just your thing.
Yeah, not everyone
But
has to like it.
exactly. But she feels like basically that, yeah, it's kind of just being forced, and she's seen it. So she spoke about it. And people were just, they were fed up, bro. Um, I do think though she had a good point with like those big media brands, how they don't really go for like, I don't even want to say like alpha guys, but like, I guess that stereotypical like man's man
Hmm.
thing. I don't even know if they really push towards like kind of just like an average everyday just guy. Like they kind of are geared more towards whatever you want to call that agenda there, or ideas, thoughts, whatever those are. So I can see how somebody like her, that's like a political head, and definitely like a talking point person, how she could just just see that and be like, this is how I feel about it. But
Yeah, I don't feel like
it,
this is not the day and age to just be speaking your mind like that.
right.
When you have that kind of
But like
platform.
again, people almost kind of fed right into what she was saying. She was saying how like, hey, we are getting a lot softer. We are
Yeah.
people take everything and they think that like their emotions matter.
Hmm.
And which on the grand scheme, no, they don't. I mean, your opinion can be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, you can express it, but that doesn't mean anybody has to do anything with it. Like they can just be like, cool, all right, you said it how you felt. anyway. And so I think she was saying that, and those people felt like almost like they were validating themselves by Twitter bashing her and so on and so forth. But it kind of just shows you like how 2020 is as a year. Like we just got so much just absolute cluster. You know what?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think it's just like one of those things where it's just like the same people making a big deal about this are probably the same people that are like, I don't judge people based off, what they do or what they
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh yeah.
here they are. Oh, you wore a dress?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing that gets me when they're like, "Oh, you're so brave." Like the courage to get.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude is worth like what, $200 million
At least.
Why would he ever concern himself with the opinion of anyone else?
Yeah.
He could have got on there with a doggone a stick and a little towel thing around him. And they like, you know what I mean? And never even, if nobody would have even thought about it, they would have made some excuse like, is this a new look? Is this the new end thing? Like,
yeah,
like something being more bare is the new thing to do. Like what was that? Kylie Jenner did, not Kylie, Kendall Jenner. She wore black leggings, some boots, not even hiking boots, just boots, like almost like some bean boots. And what was that, like a black t-shirt or black tank top? And she was modeling in that. And they said, here's how Kendall Jenner is breaking the mold and taking hiking to the next level.
Like,
and it was like
average person.
Yeah. You're like, well, what do you hike in? Like, what do you go in? I mean, that looks pretty standard, like apparel.
Breaking the mold, though.
Yeah, like it's like, so I don't know. When those people, that's what bothers me when I see them say like they're so brave. It's like, yeah, it's so brave for that dude. Oh man,
because he cares about anything.
Yeah, like. It's just,
how much did they take to do that magazine cover? More than you probably made in your entire life. So,
or ever will.
Yeah,
that's the weird part. It's like this dude, he has so much money, he doesn't even know what to do with it. I guarantee you, when he did it, he was just like, honestly, I could see if he was like, let's just be funny. Like, I don't even care about this stuff. Like, yeah, sure, I'll take some pictures. Let's just grab whatever and bring it to me.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be so great if it was like one of his friends like dared him to do that? And then he just got on there. He was like, oh, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I'm the only person to ever be solo on Vogue. Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like that would make that story that much better for me. But
I wish we had that insight. That would,
yeah.
Man, it's just kind of funny because it's just like, we find every little thing to nitpick and
everything
as a society. It's just like,
yeah. Well, and the thing is too, people feel like, I mean, kind of like what I just said. They feel like they have to be, what they say needs to be validated, or that their opinion should be validated and taken into consideration. And it's like, that's not how they work. That's not how opinions work. And you can't be upset if people don't agree with your opinion. Like, just how we get on here. We just talk, we say how we feel, say what we want, we go on. Some people will agree, some won't. But it's like,
that's life.
That's how that thing works. I don't know how it started though. That's just how it is, because I don't want to like go into overkill on it, but like you get my point. It's just everybody wants to just be. No, I shouldn't say they want to be sensitive. They just are. Like,
hey, all people got to understand is opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one, but we don't want
exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly, man. And it, dude, my thing is too that. Did you ever watch like Louder with Crowder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I watched that. I'm not a huge.
I was saying I'm not a huge fan of it. I've seen it a little bit, but like
exactly. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of him. His voice kind of bothers me, but the material that he does, I appreciate, so I endure it. But he kind of just like touches on topics like that, and it's see how like. But when you watch how like people interact with him, like that whole "Change My Mind" segment, that's just his opinion. And people get up there like they get up there so mad because they can't change his mind, and it's like it's this guy's opinion,
literally.
Like, you know, I mean, even if he sees the logic in what you're saying, his opinion doesn't have to be logic based. Though you would want it to be, it doesn't have to be. That's why. That's why. Okay, not to make this too political, but that's why the whole left has. I mean, this major platform that it has is based off of people's opinions and feelings and what they think is appropriate, what's not, what's now a society norm, and what's not. So on, and the progressiveness is based off of people's opinions and observations. Those don't make those facts. Like, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to. Well, I mean, I guess it has to be validated to a certain extent, but not
Oh,
every
it just has to have
single.
enough. It just has to have enough people agreeing with that opinion. It's
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to be
not even actually
complete
validated.
across the board. Yeah, like, and I feel like, but I feel like people kind of just take that and they're like, no, okay, if you consider that, you need to consider this too. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not doing that. But that's my mini rant there on that topic.
I know the people are ready to hear about all this story because I am. You know, over the last couple of days, lives have changed on this podcast. Some of us have
Are you
finally.
talking about? Are we talking about my deer hunting story?
It is.
Oh man! Oh yeah! How do we not lead off with this? Yeah, man. So this was you hear that?
No.
Oh, bourbon's down there barking. Yeah, man. So this was absolutely great experience, dude. It was. It felt exactly how I thought it would be like once I actually got one. So to fill everybody in, so I just started deer hunting for the first time ever in my life. Like I've done like dove hunting, um, but and coyote hunting, but like not deer. And so this was like I guess I don't even really know how like well I know so I used to live with a guy we know named Crutcher. I mean you know Crutcher. So he used to shoot a bow in the backyard, and he let me shoot it a couple of times. I was like, dang, all right, this is really cool. That was like 4 years ago. So the guy I live with now, Brandon, as you know, he has a bow, and he went bow hunting like a couple of times last year. And I was just like, man, I kind of want to get into it. And one of my friends, Blake, he has land in Missouri, and he was like, yeah, you can actually just come up there with me if you end up getting like a bow and stuff and blah blah blah. And so I got one. Well, I had gotten one, and then he ended up getting one as well, and he was like, we should go up. So then like I just kind of just taking time, just shooting stuff, practicing. Um, and a guy from the gym actually drove by me one day as I was practicing outside. Like this was probably like my second week, really just like shooting with my bow, kind of like figuring out like what a bow is and like how the little adjustments you have to make, so on and so forth. And he was like, yeah, man, I live just like right down over here. And he and kind of just was talking to me. I was telling him, yeah, I'm getting ready for a trip to Missouri to hunt, blah blah blah. And he was kind of asking me, he was like, you ever been before? I was like, no, this will be my first time. He's like, man, there's some big deer up there. And I was just like, yeah, hopefully I get one. Kind of small talk, but then he leaves.
Yeah.
And so then I see these bucks right across the street from my house. So this apartment complex that like I live in is like apartment complexes and townhomes, and we live in a townhome at the end, and there's this huge field across the street that is always filled with deer, like all the time. And there was these two big bucks that were always over there. They both had 8 points apiece. Their bodies weren't like the thickest, but they were getting there. You could tell they were starting to mature a lot. Um, and they were always over there. And one night, dude, they were right across the street from me. Like I'm walking down this sidewalk, they're right at the edge of the field, and I was like, holy crap. And they weren't even moving. And so like I recorded them, and I run into that guy at the gym and I show him, and he was like, look, man, he said, so like I want to take out some of the does around my property. And he was like, he was like, and he said, also like he said, when are you going on your trip? And I was like, well, in a couple of weeks, I gotta go. He's like, you need to get some practice in before you go up and see. He was like, because I'm telling you, Missouri and Illinois have huge deer.
Yeah, they
And
do.
he was like, he was like, you really need to, at least get a shot at something. And I was like, all right. He was like, so you can come out to my property, take some does. And And he was like, "Can I just leave the bucks because we want those to grow and blah blah blah." I was like, "Okay, yeah." So I go out to his property, and he tells me he was like where his best blind is, and it was this box blind, and he was like, you can get in there, get comfortable. So we did some practice shots during the day, and in the evening he was like, "Yeah, just come back out this evening, and we'll hunt at last light." And man, my first day, this is so stupid. So I go home in my head. I'm like, all right, yeah. So I want to like trace the shot. So like I get these lighted knocks, and it's so stupid because the knocks don't go all the way in the arrow. Also, I'm giving you this full backstory of how I got to this point. But yeah, so like these lighted knocks go in there, and they throw off my arrow so much that like if I'm aiming for like this particular dot right here, it was dropping like all the way down like right here, or it's like all the way behind. But I'm so like set on, no, I want the lighted knocks. That I just keep going. So I just keep shooting with these. My first day out there, dude, two does pop up. And he was like, like, hey, here's your shot. And in a blind, it's sort of weird, like a box blind. Normally, like if you shoot a bow, you want to be like in a tree stand, and or like some type of open type stand. But we're just in a box blind, and you see some of those people hunt out of like those big green ones. But this is just a box, and so needless to say, I missed all those shots. I took 4 shots in 2 days, and I missed them all because these lighted knocks kept throwing off my arrow. So I was like, you know what, man? All right, I'm over it. I'm gonna replace the actual knocks on there, and dude, it just goes like cold with deer. I don't get another deer within 60 yards of me. I don't know what happens, why this happened, but like they were, huh?
They said they smelt you.
Had something. We don't know what it was, but like he was constantly getting deer by him, but like I don't know if I was just like not waiting long enough or what, because we kind of had like the same type of set schedule. We kind of head out around 5 a.m, and then we would leave around like 8 or 9, and depending on the day, it can get like 8 or 9 in the morning time, and then in the evening we would just kind of wait till an hour and a half before last light, and then you kind of just wait till then. But yeah, man, and they just would not get close enough for me to take a shot. So this goes on for like a few weeks. Like I think it was honestly a month and a half. I'm just going out 3-4 days a week, just going in the mornings, or if not in the morning, I would go in the evening, or sometimes both. Like I think a couple of those weeks I went 2 days in a row both times. And I was just like, what is going on? And he was like, man, just stay patient, stay after it. He's just kind of like giving me pointers on, possible situations. So that same morning, you may have saw this on my story, but we had all these deer in this field. And I was like, okay, I'm about to take a shot. There was 10 does, 9 or 10 does, and 3 yearlings all in this field. And then this little messed up buck comes running out. He was born with the deformity of a half rack, and it looks like he would have had like 6-8 points, but this side never grew, or vice versa, never grew. And so he comes out, he scares all of them off because the guy was saying how like he is after him so hard right now trying to breed that they're probably just kind of tired of him, so they all just run off every time he comes up. They're just kind of like, here this guy goes again, and so this is exactly what happens. I get 3 of them within 30 yards of me, and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is about to happen. He comes in, dude, you should just see them. They just dart off, they don't leave the field. They just run to opposite ends of the field. So let's say if he starts coming like this way, they dart over here. If he starts kind of trying to hook around them, then they will shoot across. It's just like this whole like cat and mouse game you see playing out. But imagine he's doing this with 10 of them across. So like can't hit a deer, you know, that's sprinting across 30 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
alert, trying to get all of them. Jesus.
yeah, right. And so, but this had to be the hottest morning like we've had this whole time. As far as like action wise, it was ice cold. I think the temperature was 29 that morning. 'Cause, you know, it's been kind of weird. It's been like 60, then
I see
20.
weather for you.
Yeah,
Bipolar at all times.
exactly. And so I don't know why, but I guess he wore himself out. This goes on like 15, 20 minutes. He comes and starts eating right beside the deer stand that I'm in, or the blind that I'm in. And I was like, this is crazy. But I'm just kind of just watching him because there's this yearling that's on my other side. And I was like, okay, look, if this is the only shot I'm going to get, I guess I'm taking this. But she walks in behind me though, and under my blind, but not like in a shot range. And I think if she would have just been a little bit older, I think he would have tried to jump on her because he kind of just kept following like anyone that he could get close to, like he was trying to do. But the guy was texting me, like, he was telling me like to take that shot. And I didn't see my phone. And so when I finally looked down at my phone, he was like, "Why didn't you take him out? You should have taken him out."
The whole
He was
field would have
like,
thanked you. They all came up to you and been like,
yeah, exactly. Like he was like, "What are you doing?" But he was like, "Yeah, man, I've been trying to get rid of him for like a couple of years." And kind of just wrap up a long story short. So this night hunt was my redemption time because I was like, "Well, dang, you know, I missed my shot in the morning because I didn't look at my phone." And then he scared. Then the deer that I missed a shot, well, you know, like missed my opportunity on, scares off all the other deer. So like they don't want to come back in this field right now. So I was like, okay, this is my moment. And dude, I came up to I think so. I walked down to this other blind, and I see them starting to come in. It's starting to get, you know, kind of like that dusky settling time, and they start eating on like these like soybeans and corn and stuff. And so I didn't even see this deer pop up, but this yearling pops up right beside me. Well, not right beside me, 24 yards out from me from the left. And it almost kind of spooks these two big ones that are walking right here because they like came from opposite ends and they all just see each other and then they just relax and go back to eating. And I was like, please don't scare off my only next shot. And so then I kind of see like how this is playing out, like by how she's walking. And like she starts walking towards me, but then she would take a step over, towards me, and then like a step over. And I was like, okay, look, if she gets any closer, she's gonna start being able to smell me because I'm in a blind that's on the ground. And I'm like, okay, well, we got pretty much one shot at this. So I gotta make this one count. And I was like, if she takes another step to the right, just pull it. This is what I tell myself. And so I start to line up. She walks a little bit to the right, but she puts her head down like this, and like how the corn is like this is kind of in between. I was like, I don't know if that's the right shot. Like, is that too far back? Is that too far up? And she puts her head up, and it lets me see like the sway in her back like this. She know exactly, and I just edges it up, boop, and do. Oh my gosh, the sound off that thing, it shocked me. Like, I don't know if you've ever shot a bow.
no.
And oh man, okay, so like when you're shooting like on a target, you hear this like bah, bah, bah. It's like you hear it making like being stopped. Okay, so this when I shoot this, I hear a sound louder than that when it hits her. But she turns and sprints, and all the rest of them start sprinting. And so I just sit there still. And the guy texts me. He was like, he said, "You got her, right?" And I was like, I mean, I think I did. I don't know. She took off running. He was like, I heard impact. And keep in mind, he's in the other side of the field, like probably 100, 120 yards away.
He's not
He
new
was
to
like,
this, so he knows what he heard.
yeah, exactly. He was like, because like how his property's set up too, you know, where like medical center is that leads into the interstate, you can hear that really well. He was like, I heard that over the interstate. He was like, I'm pretty sure you hit her. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up. I was like, because what if I miss, you know, like what if I misjudge the swoop in her back? Because I can't really see because of the corn, like how I was like, I don't know. So
So on this process, is this now a like follow the blood trail like we always hear, or what's that look like?
Yeah. So we wait. I don't really know how long I waited because I had more
It
deer
probably
walk.
it probably felt like an eternity to you because you were like, let's
Oh, dude.
go.
Well, see, I was like, yeah, maybe it's. I was talking to Blake, and I was like, maybe it's like 15 or 20 minutes. And he was like, no. He was like, that seems a little fast. He was like, I think you probably waited longer than that. I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what time was. I don't know. Like, I wanted to go check and see, but I knew like you had to be patient because if you spook them, they still have all that adrenaline rushing. So even if they are about to die, they can still like keep running off or like hide. And then you can just makes it harder to get them. But I still had deer walking in. So I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, if I get another one close enough, do you care if I take another shot? Because there was 3 more big does walking towards me in the exact same spot. And he was like, yeah, if you can get another one, go ahead. And so we waited on that. Then they kind of like clear off. And so then like I'm looking to see, and so there's this buck that walks in behind us. And he's like, well, hey, don't walk out to check on yours yet. Let me see if I'll get a shot on this one. And I was like, okay. So like I'm kind of checking in the distance, and like I see my ears low to the ground, like moving, but I don't know like if that's like a yearling back there eating or what. And so he was like, hey, don't worry about it. Let's try to go track this. Dude, there was no blood like right where I shot her. And I was like, dang it. Like I missed. I was like, I must have hit the corn. But then he was like, no, like I see her. And but he was like, well, let's see if we can track the blood. He was like, so in case you're by yourself, because he's also helping me like learn how to hunt. And so I was like, all right, so there's no blood, no blood, no blood. And we get right up to her, and there's just a little patch of blood like right there. But sure enough, like she had dropped because how she went around the fence, like they didn't run far. So I think because the arrow went right through her, I think that it went right through her and hit the fence, and it landed right in front of this yearling, and I was eating right behind her. And so like just imagine if she would have been up just a little bit more, I would have smacked 2 of them. but and I think that's what scared them was it hitting the fence. And they all just like, what happened? Because they didn't run off far. They all just ran on the opposite side of that fence into the woods. And there she was. She dropped right there, maybe 20 yards from where she was shot. And the other ones were still like kind of hovering off in the distance. Like they weren't far. Like I really just think they were like, what happened? Like they didn't know. But I was just so surprised by the sound of it, dude, like of actual impact. And so, yeah, now I can officially say I got a deer kill.
Nice.
So
I mean, that's an exciting story, and I've been looking forward to. I mean, obviously, I saw all the mess that went into cleaning that bad boy out and getting all that.
Man, oh yeah, that I didn't expect it to be like that either. I don't know. Have you ever like cleaned a deer before or like
Never got one.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
man, it's so weird. Like I hope nobody like feels weird about this or like how I'm about to say this.
Yeah.
But all right, when I walk up to her, dude, she's still warm, like warm, as if like, I mean, she was just alive, a few seconds ago. But when you grab, like, so like when I grabbed her, like I kind of touched her body first, dude, it almost feels like your dog. And as weird as that is, like, and I know people don't want to think about it like that, but like that's what like that fur, you ever like patted your dog like on the ribs like that, like just like, hey, like that's what it feels like. And I was like, yo, and I was like, that's kind of strange. And then like, but it's such a strange like experience. But then when you go like, you took like A&P.
No, I'm not that smart. I'm too dumb for all that.
Oh, well, like, okay, they have like A&P, but like you have like comparative anatomy, which shows like the difference in like species and so on and so forth. But like, I know that stuff is based off of accuracy and like what they've seen, but it's so crazy how accurate it is. Like when you cut it open, like you just see the full layout of like exactly how that is, and you're just like, holy crap! Like it's right here in front of you, And I was fortunate too that I got such a mature one. So like when we cut like down by like her milk sac, no milk came out. So he believes that like she was an older one that had already kind of gotten past like having any fawns feeding off of her. and so she was more so just like a leader of that group or whatever, which is why there were so many, and because she had been around for so long, and yeah, so like it was very clean. She was fatty too. Like we cut in. All right, so the entry point of where mine was, so I hit her in the lung and in the liver, and it like went through these ribs, and but there was on the exit there was like this patch of like fat hanging out, like or like where it was just I don't know, it was just kind of cool to see. And this is gonna sound weird to you, bro, but like it almost made like when I was cutting her open, like seeing like the fattiness, because it looks like how like it does like in a pan, like if you're like starting to cook with it, like that's how it looks when you cut it open, like it's kind of like that greasy look with fat. Like it almost like made my mouth water a little bit. Like, it was kind of strange. I was like, yo, like what? I was like, why is my mouth like kind of watering? But like,
Yeah.
it was just I don't know. It was such a cool experience, bro.
Hey, one down. Well, you got like 100 to go. So what's your goal here? How many are you trying to get?
Like in a lifetime?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. However many are legally possible in each season. That's how many I'm going for.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey.
And a responsible amount, I should say. So I think you can get 2 and 2. So like $2 to dough. I believe that's the rules. I hope that if it's not, I don't know. So I don't want somebody to like eat me up. I only have one. So don't report me. I only have one and it's confirmed on my Instagram. So yeah, I think that's the rule though.
Yeah, well, best of luck to you on getting some more of those. At least that's one positive note in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Got my first deer kill. And dude, I'll let you. Well, if you're close, I'll let you get some deer steaks.
Oh yeah, I'll make that drive. I'll make that drive any day.
Oh yeah. We take it up to the slaughterhouse right after that.
Yeah.
And I don't know like how much you get out of this, but I mean she was a good size. So they give you steaks, tenderloins, burgers, and I got what they call summer sausage or summer rolls or whatever. And I got the jalapeno cheddar put into that. So
yeah, I was gonna say a group of buddies of mine when I was in high school used to tailgate high school football games by making like deer everything. So
really?
Yeah. So man, that's some good stuff. And so I will happily make that drive any day.
I'm a huge deer jerky fan. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, I just can't do jerky. I can't do jerky
anymore. What?
I don't like it.
Wait, like just like deer jerky, or you're saying like just jerky in general?
Jerky in general.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like the texture. I can't do it.
Dang, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. All right. I mean,
to each their own. To each their own.
I said the same thing.
Man. So Thursday, or I guess Wednesday night, NBA draft.
Oh yeah. Dude, wait, is that on right now?
Second round is. But
wait, who went first?
Anthony Edwards from Georgia goes to Minnesota. Which
that makes sense.
He was the favorite to go there. Wiseman goes to the Warriors at 2, and
where's LaMelo?
3 at the Charlotte Hornets, playing for old Michael Jordan. Remember when his dad said he could beat Michael Jordan in a 1-on-1? We might actually get that 1-on-1 now.
I'm not gonna lie, LaMelo would give him absolute buckets.
How about LeVar versus MJ though? Let's go ahead and get that right.
I would actually like to see that one. But if you're talking about MJ versus LaMelo, right? Yeah, that's not even gonna be. LaMelo makes people look silly, bro.
It's Michael Jordan.
I mean, Mike might still get a shot, but LaMelo is what, 2 inches, 3 inches taller than him?
It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but look, on top of that though, Mike is 60 something.
It's Michael Jordan.
I want to hear that. Look, I'm taking youthfulness and explosive hops and athleticism.
So when they drafted Michael Kidd Gilchrist from Kentucky, they played 1-on-1, and Jordan like ate him up 21-0.
What was that, 10 years ago?
No, I mean within the last 5 years.
That still puts him in his 50s.
Okay, it's still Michael Jordan.
That was probably 300 cigars ago.
Dude,
that was probably 300 tequila shots ago.
Hey, I'm saying
This time is added up.
The killer
I mean,
don't go away.
do I think? I almost said LeBron. Do I think Michael Jordan could give the average man buckets right now? Absolutely.
Bro,
He'll probably go in there.
He could go play for the Hornets right now and be fine. I guarantee.
Yeah. Dude, no, he could probably go in, give somebody 5 and still come out with a dub on an average person. But there's no way these NBA dudes right now. Nah, his time is came and gone.
Nah, bro. I put my money on MJ.
Nah. But speaking of that draft, though, so this makes things kind of interesting because. So wait, do you have all the picks there in front of you?
I don't. Those are just the biggest 3. The only other ones that were kind of surprising. Well, I guess not surprising, but I think they're good fits. The Knicks got Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was like one of the best players in college basketball last year.
Okay.
He had like a 77% field goal percentage, led the NCAA in dunks, like very athletic, very unique player. And he's from New York, and the Knicks got him, I think, like 6th pick, maybe 7th. I don't know off the top of my head. But a very high pick. And like he was very emotional. He's like, I'm playing for my city. Like, all this kind of thing. I was like, that's super dope. Like, you get to go home, play for the Knicks.
Okay.
But I mean, there's so many things.
Right.
That
there was see, like I didn't watch much college basketball last season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what was it? The Knicks have RJ Barrett though, right?
Correct. And Kevin Knox.
I'm not too familiar with Kevin.
Kevin Knox played at Kentucky, if that tells you anything. We all know how Kentucky guards are in the league. So
okay, I wanted Zion somehow to go there as well. But I would love RJ Barrett, Zion, and Lonzo all to be on the Knicks. And because I think Zion and Lonzo have something good there. Like I think they can grow well together, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like, and I don't know as far as like contending for anything if it's just them two, but I definitely think you could build something around those two. Though.
Well, I think they have that New Orleans with Josh Hart, who's a great scorer, good guard, and then you have Ingram.
But here's the thing: I like the big market though for them too, though. My bad, not to cut you off.
Yeah, no, I feel you on the big market though.
Like I mean, because imagine like if they do blow up like that, I mean, which one would you rather go watch, New Orleans or New York?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean, like you know what I'm saying, like it's like you're like, oh, New York, duh, like yeah, I'm there.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, I would love that big market for them, and plus like the history with that whole team and everything. Like I think it would just be great. On top of seeing them turn their organization around. Really, I mean, they could come to Philly if they want to, but
it looks like Philly's trying to clear out space, though. They're trying to do something.
Oh, yeah, let's get into this. Because what did we just do? You can go ahead and break it to the people. Or do you want me to say
the Horford trade for Danny Green?
Yeah.
That's a terrible trade.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be clearing up space for Harden. It has to be clearing up space to trade Simmons for Harden, unfortunately.
Man, hold on.
Unfortunately, yeah. You're going to need more than one of those because that's a tough
What is that?
Yeah.
We saw Danny Green. We've seen Danny Green.
There's a reason why LeBron didn't want him. And then there's a reason he lasted 2 days in OKC. He was there for 2 days and got traded.
Man,
he didn't even get an apartment in OKC yet. He didn't even leave LA.
Oh no, bro. Yeah, that was just a little pit stop. No.
And then OKC gets 2 more draft picks on top of the 20 they already had.
Do they really?
So they got Philadelphia's 2025 first round pick, and then a second round pick as well. But I mean, they already have that video of Lil Baby counting money, and they said that's OKC counting their draft picks because they have so many, bro. They have so many draft picks.
So they're just playing the long game. They're like, in a few years we'll be right back. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Here's my thing. I don't really want Harden at Philly.
No.
But I know I can't control the outcome. But that's okay. And at first I was like, I went too far against it. But my friends, the guys I tell you about in the group chat, they made a good point. They were like, Embiid's already kind of lazy.
Yeah. Very.
So if you add in another lazy player that doesn't really push him, then you kind of just got two lazy people, on the court.
That you're paying
I was
a
like,
hell of money for.
right. And I'm like, that makes a good point. And I know James Harden really wants a ring, so I see why he's pushing so hard for the Nets. I don't know how.
I feel like that's failure, though. I don't see that succeeding.
Like, at all?
No,
I feel like they can win a whole lot of games.
Well, I feel like they can make the playoffs, but I don't feel like they can. Like, last second shot, they're all gonna be arguing for the ball. Kyrie.
Oh yeah,
because
Kyrie's still trying to prove himself to whoever. I don't know who, but every other day he's talking about he needs to validate him.
Yeah.
Okay. KD is just trying to be mentioned in the greatest of all time conversation.
Yeah. I don't
by getting cheap
that.
Rings. So okay.
But exactly, like you're gonna add Harden, hope you win another ring, and then be like, oh yeah, I got another one.
And the thing is, we've seen
roster.
Yeah, and we've seen Harden, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same way we've seen Danny Green. Like, but so you were just saying that you see them just going to the playoffs, but you never see them winning a ring together.
Yeah, the East, I think the Celtics team that they have now is better than those three together, to be honest. Because to get Harden, what do you have to give up? You're gonna have to give up your other scorers and draft picks.
So you're saying that the Nets?
Yeah. So like the Nets to get Harden, like yes, you have Kyrie, Harden, Durant, but you're gonna have nobody else. You're losing Dinwiddie. You're losing Dinwiddie. You're losing any other guy that you thought would be any help.
Are there any role players that are in the kind of in the system, in the machine that we aren't thinking about?
In Brooklyn or where?
No, just saying like in the free agency machine.
I don't know. Free agency is going to be kind of interesting. It starts on Sunday. Or starts Friday. Starts Friday. They officially signed Sunday.
They may already be tapped into some role players that they know fit what they're trying to do.
So Gordon Hayward is one that I'm interested in. Him and the Celtics are in a debate right now whether to sign the extension or not. So he could be a free agent.
Do you pick him up to add him to that mess?
No, I think so. I've heard a lot of talks of Atlanta for him, and I think that's a good fit. Atlanta's also looking at trying to get Gallinari, so that's a good shooter. So you add Trae Young
and Rondo.
Yeah, so you have Rondo, Trae Young, Gordon Hayward, and Gallinari. I think that could be a nice little front court there.
It'll be good basketball, but they're not going nowhere.
No, probably not. But also, I don't know. Rondo wants to join the Clippers, so there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Why would he even want to do that?
If you want to stay in LA, just play with LeBron and play with the Lakers.
Yeah, and just sit on the bench. But they keep saying that he wants to start, and I get. I mean, it's probably hard for a guy like that was big time starter for so long.
Yeah, but do you know how old you are, Rondo?
Exactly, and it's like somebody made the point. I want to say it was Shannon Sharp that like Rondo kind of gets hurt down the stretch or something like that. He said that about Rondo and Paul Pierce, and no, not Paul Pierce. Rondo and Chris Paul. And he was saying how like those are two guys that are kind of looking to get paid, but they're both are kind of like that injury prone, but they're good in the playoffs if you can keep them healthy.
If you can get them there, if you can get them to the playoffs.
Well, yeah, like, but you see, like even with Houston though, when Chris Paul was there, like I mean, they made it to the playoffs, but that one game, that's how they lost Game 7. But so it's just kind of like with Rondo, I don't know. The Lakers for sure aren't going to offer him to start.
No, but the thing is, like Rondo is not as effective as a like he's a good locker room voice, I think, to have, and a good leader, a good veteran. He does his part, but I don't think he does what Chris Paul does. Like I think Chris Paul now in Phoenix, I think he makes Devin Booker probably the league leading scorer next year because he's going to take so much pressure off of.
But all they're going to do is end up the 7th seed, though.
I mean, I could see anywhere from like the 5 to 8 seeds somewhere, but they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, everyone's going to focus. Like
you hope
you have to focus on Chris Paul. You cannot not focus on Chris Paul.
Right, but the West is stacked, though. I mean, okay, we can almost count Golden State out at this point. They're going to be second to last because Clay got hurt. We haven't mentioned that yet, but
Yeah,
yes. So
we don't know the severity. It looks like torn ACL based off of early reports, but
yeah,
who knows? But I mean, yes, losing Clay does hurt.
and I think it's the other one, right?
Yeah, it's his other leg.
Because like he tore his hamstring and ACL.
He tore his Achilles. He had an Achilles injury.
It was okay. KD had the Achilles.
So did Clay.
Okay, and it was a hamstring pull and Achilles, and then now he tears his ACL on the opposite leg.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, bro. So again, as I say, yeah. So Golden State's going to be like second to last because it's going to be Steph and Draymond. Who else? Who else do they have?
Well, they added Wiseman as a draft pick, so they now have a center. So they now at least have a big man, which is kind of what they were lacking. So I think with Clay, that team is pushing Western Conference Finals because of
with Clay, but there's no Clay.
I understand, and that's the thing. I don't think they're going to be the worst team, but I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Second to last. I'm calling it right now.
All right, that's hot take, but
second to last. So then you have that's Phoenix. Who else? Let's look up the entire Western Conference right now.
So I mean,
and we can.
I mean, I think you're locks for the playoff. You get 8 of them in the West. I think Lakers. I think Clippers make it. You have Nuggets and Jazz. I think Suns, Dallas. That's 6 right there. I would go ahead and say Portland is 7. You're kind of a toss-up on the 8 seed there. You're looking at possibly San Antonio, possibly New Orleans.
Right.
Options there.
Hold on a second. I'm getting it.
But I mean,
just getting it set up.
I think the Suns have a chance to be that anywhere from that 5 to 8 seed because the West is going to be close.
Yeah, that very close. Okay, so I'm just gonna I mean, you already know all these, but for people just listening that I'll just be kind of partially in tune. You got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Rockets, Oklahoma City, the Jazz, Dallas, and Portland. That was just your top 8 last year. All of those teams got better.
Except for Houston.
Valid point, but they still have Russ.
For now.
I'm taking Russ over Chris Paul and Devin Booker any day. Oof. Not to mention, the team right outside of that?
Probably New Orleans.
No, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
Very, very solid Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
You mentioned a great point of New Orleans, who Phoenix ended up beating out in position-wise, ranked higher. But that's another team that has gotten to mature and gotten better, who I think gives the Suns absolute hell. Like, I think they're going to be competing hella hard to be 7th. That's why I keep saying 7th is probably their best shot.
I don't know. So the Thunder last season had like a 3% chance of making the playoffs before Chris Paul did what he did there. And you got to think, Chris Paul had nobody in Oklahoma City. So I think
and you said Oklahoma City's not getting anybody. Who they get in the draft?
They got a handful of guys in that trade, but I did see they already traded Rubio away. So Ricky Rubio is one of those guards they already got, and he got Danny Green. So he literally got picked up for 2 days and traded instantly.
Yeah, and out of there. Just looking at that right off, dude. I like the Pelicans better than them right away, even though we're kind of still going through that. San Antonio is a team you can't ever count out either.
Mm-mm. Well, last year was the first year they made the playoffs since 97.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's another team they're going to be competing with who finished right behind them.
That's the thing is I don't think San Antonio is good if they don't keep DeMar DeRozan because he could be on the move. If DeMar DeRozan leaves, they are
yeah, because they talked about him going to the Lakers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. Even if DeMar DeRozan goes away, we still got Pop. He's still there.
But he didn't make playoffs last year with this team, and if you take away their leading scorer, there's no way they do anything.
I don't know. Pop has made some great players. He's made some people pretty great. Okay, I'll tell you who I like. as far as going to the playoffs. So I got Lakers, Clippers. I see them going. Nuggets again because they
Mhm.
definitely figured out something right there towards the end. Um, you made a great point with Houston that contingent on if Russ stays or not. Dude, do you think Al Horford could go there since the Sixers just got rid of him?
I don't know. I don't see Oklahoma City trading him. I think he gets trapped in
But
OKC for the rest of the contract. Unfortunately, I
see,
think it's literally that. I
I
think he
feel
gets
like a guy,
trapped there.
but I feel like a guy like that can make a case for his own self to be like, "Yo, I'm going down here."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
maybe,
Like,
maybe. But I
um,
think if he goes to a Texas team, he goes to like Dallas
I like that a lot.
because
I like that a whole
Dallas
lot,
is a
actually.
contender more than Houston, is my opinion.
Oh no, wait, not Dallas, not Dallas. I thought
You
you were
think
gonna
San
say that.
Antonio?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I like that a whole lot. Okay, so we already said Houston. All right. Okay. See, I don't really like them going to the playoffs. I don't think that they will. Um, if those pieces don't play out like that.
OKC is not making the playoffs again.
Yeah.
That's definitely not happening.
Uh, the Jazz. See, okay, I don't know. I never really know how to gauge the Jazz, to be honest with you.
Donovan
Like,
Mitchell is a bucket.
yeah, but like they always just kind of like just surprise me. I never really watch all their games. I kind of just always see their highlights,
Hmm.
and then when they're doing good, like I feel like once I realize they're doing good, I'm always like, oh dang,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think they're going to go back to the playoffs. They can score too many points
yeah. Um,
because
and then
the Jazz and the Nuggets are literally the same team, just with different players, bro.
exactly. That's okay. I've always kind of thought that, but no, just accidentally thought that. But yes, they are always very similar though to me. But
Yes.
um, okay, and we got two spots left here. I already kind of called it out, but I like New Orleans going, and I'm not ready to give up on the Grizzlies either. I mean, I really do think they can make a very, very strong push for that eighth spot, if not seven. Like I think they're competing for that right there too.
Yeah, I mean the
So
thing that hurt them in the later end of the season last year was Jaren Jackson Jr. getting hurt. So like they lost a big piece to their team late in the
yeah,
season. Didn't happen. So I definitely think Memphis is definitely a team to consider. The West is just a complete toss up, to be honest.
you think you think Oklahoma City activates Leangelo since his brothers are in the league now?
No, their roster is so bad. Their roster is so bad. LiAngelo doesn't. He stays in the G League or D League or wherever he's at.
Dude, yeah, that's where he's at. He's in the Oklahoma City G League.
He stays there.
Bro, I think look, he could give you something. Something. Let the guy just touch the league. Let him step foot on a court.
I
If
mean,
I'm him, I'm
he does
pissed.
have a lot to prove at this point. Both his brothers were top 3 draft picks, and he's out here playing in the G League.
Yeah. that's that's so crazy. He kind of ruined himself though.
Yeah.
Like that whole he was already on edge. Like they were all kind of like, and then that whole stealing thing in China.
Yep.
That's what put him like on this weird area.
Yep.
Because like the NBA plays a lot of games in China,
Mm-hmm.
or I shouldn't say a lot, but they have a lot of dealings, and they do play some games there.
Yeah. Well, and
So I
now
think
they have a big following there. The NBA is huge.
exactly. So I think that also plays a part because they're like, look, bro, you kind of ruined, like you made us look bad over here, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, just give it a little while, let it die out.
We might let you ride the bench somewhere at some point.
Exactly. Like we might sneak you on at the end, somewhere. But you just got to ride this one out right now.
Man, I was really hoping the Knicks would trade for the #1 pick and get LaMelo. I thought that would just be.
It would. Him and RJ Barrett. Who do they have at center? Or do you know?
Great question. I don't have any idea who the Knicks have. I think they have Julius Randle somewhere on that roster, but that's all I know.
Didn't he play? Wasn't his last place like Oklahoma? I mean, Memphis.
No, Randall was in New Orleans, but he didn't feel like he fit there. So
yeah, we got some good basketball coming up. I don't know if we ever quite express our thoughts on here about how we feel about like the restart. I don't know if we ever kind
Oh,
of talked about
I
that.
mean, if anybody's questioning my excitement for the restart, they can probably just go ahead and get off the episode because it's not a question. I get
Well,
Christmas
see, like
basketball. I get to watch
I
basketball all day on Christmas. I don't care who's playing, starters, bench players, the little ball boy. I don't care who's playing.
like no, I'm excited, but at the same time, we did. I remember now. We did kind of touch on this. I think it's a little early. So that's it. But
I think it's early for those teams that did end late, but those
right.
guys that had not touched a court for team basketball since March, they're ready to play. A lot to prove.
You think Miami makes another strong run like that?
They gotta get another piece. They're missing something.
Yeah.
They don't have like, so Bam is great, but they're missing a like traditional center, not even a traditional center, another big man, really. Whether that's a big man that just plays in the paint or a stretch five.
Well,
Stretch
no,
four.
they kind of do need a center too because
Mhm.
Bam is only 6'8".
Thank you.
And I mean, they were like when they played the Lakers, they were like when the point guard is as big as the center,
Mm-hmm.
there's an issue. And it's like, I mean, yeah, because like you kind of are outmanned when you go with a guy like that. That's Golden State made it work, but that wasn't ideal to have.
Yeah, but Golden State
Draymond.
did that because you had Clay, Steph, KD spraying you from three.
Well, even before KD was there, though.
Yeah.
So it's like they had that. What was that dude's name? The big center that they did have in it at times. He's the one that hurt Kawhi the first time.
Oh,
he came down.
He's a foreign dude. Names on the tip of my tongue, but
like that dude.
Something like that.
But like when you have Draymond at 6'6",
and they had like JaVale McGee acting like that was a real center. Like,
yeah, it's like, you mean ice my knees for 2 hours after 2 minutes of play, McGee? God, dude. And have you seen his vlogging YouTube?
No, and I prefer not to be honest.
I appreciate people trying to step outside their bubble and try new things. Maybe, I'm just thinking about the basketball and I'm not giving him a chance outside of basketball. That could be it. He just seems kind of corny to me sometimes.
He definitely.
Like people, people that are just forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it kind of seems like to me. He's kind of just forcing it.
That's what he was doing with that rat tail that he had. You remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of forcing it. You're like, come on, bro. Like it would be all right if you're forcing it.
Yeah, it's not. This is not you. Like, just go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do something else.
Well, something else I wanted to talk about too. Still sports related. Robinson Cano, dude.
Hey, bro, that's a cheater right there.
Oh man, Robinson Cano has done it again, folks. So he is now banned from Major League Baseball for all of the 2021 season. 162 game suspension. But I didn't see anything that said that includes playoffs. So I don't know.
But I mean, 162 game suspension is the full season. So if they play the full season, he's at least out there. But I mean, I wouldn't see a team being like just throwing him in the playoffs, not seeing live at bats for a full year. No way.
No, man, it's Robinson Cano.
Okay.
it's Robinson Cano.
You're gonna have to be right back on them PEDs again.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I mean, he needs to figure out how to not get caught because he's not the only guy out there. It's like, but whatever you're doing is not the right way. Like you've been caught twice now.
Take something different that doesn't show up in your system. Drink more water. Do something.
Dude, talk to A-Rod. He got away with it for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time before he was ever caught. Like, just ask around.
Well, I would say, like, Robinson Cano is, like, getting old. So it's like –
yeah, I think
everyone is okay with you, like, falling off career-wise. It's fine.
Well, he still has we're also thinking about this with our American mindset. He's still a legend there. His dad has like a baseball academy in the DR, something like that.
I'm not sure. But
I watched his documentary. Robinson Cano.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, and him playing for the Yankees, very well known baseball name, like very successful player, very good player. But again, once you get this old, like it's okay to fall off. You
Oh
don't,
yeah.
you don't have to cheat to like try to stay relevant.
His dad does have a place there. He has a baseball academy in the DR. So you got to think yeah, he probably just still like you said, just still wants to be the man. He doesn't
Playing
want
for
to
the
fall off.
kids, doing it for the kids in the DR, I guess.
And he's 38, bro. He is up there, man. He still has a beautiful swing too, but dude, he's getting paid 15 mil.
That's
As
gotta
of
hurt.
2013, but I don't know if he. I mean, I don't know if he gets that or not.
That was my
But
next question. Does he get paid while missing this whole year? Is his
yeah. See, I don't know how that
world?
works. But my thing is, like, at this point, like, why risk it? Like, because he plays for the Mets, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Why? Well, they have DeGrom, who's the best pitcher.
Well, yeah, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Marcus Stroman. They have a good bullpen for sure.
Right. But the thing is, they're like, I don't really see them being like this heavy hitter contender. So I don't know if he's like trying. Why is he taking these PEDs? Is basically what I'm getting around to. Like, I don't know exactly what PEDs he took, so I can't say if it's like roids or not, or if it's like, I've heard them say like they get guys for like certain types of creatine. Just I don't know, but I'm imagining in this case it wasn't the local store bought creatine that was actually accidentally the wrong one.
Hmm.
I'm probably imagining something that was swallowed or injected
Yeah,
that had a little bit
he's
more
been in the
kick.
league for 20 years at this point. Like
Yeah,
he knows. He's
yeah,
been around. He played for the Yankees.
yeah.
He played with A-Rod. He knows.
Exactly. He saw what was happening. He saw what was going on.
Yeah.
And his English has gotten a little bit better now. So I think he just negotiated something wrong. That's all that happened. It got lost in translation, and so now he.
That translation about the cost of 162 million. That's a lot of paychecks.
That is, but I don't know, man. I wanted to kind of talk about it because, okay, we know that there's some people. It's obvious that they're using something, or no, yeah, it is, dude. It's obvious. I was gonna try to cut them a break, but no, it's obvious.
Yeah.
And you're like, but they don't get caught. But then you got a guy like this who is an absolute stud, who gets caught twice, and you're like, how does that happen? You know what I mean? And why too? Because like, what's the upside? I guess for him, because I mean he's established himself as an all-time great. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Um, he could be in the argument for greatest second basemen of all time. He could be, if somebody put him in their top 10, makes total sense to me. I could even see the argument for top 5.
So my biggest question with this at 38, what's the risk reward here? So like you get caught a second time and you miss a whole season. At 38, your body is aging different. So you're sitting out a whole year. I know you're not sitting out. He's not at home sitting on the couch eating potato chips all for 162 games. He's probably still going to be in his private lab that he has in his house or whatever facility he goes to. He's probably still going to be in the Mets facility, to be honest, working out, seeing probably like batting practice, stuff like that. Still seeing live pitches, but like it's not a live game. And you're 38. You don't have that much time to give up at that point.
You think? You think maybe he was taking like HGH?
I don't know, because the Mets are very young. It's a very young roster. So like I don't know if he's just like trying to keep up with kids.
Right, because see, my thing is I've heard of a lot of guys. They start like HGH to kind of like turn the clock back a little bit. If I guess that's the best way of saying it, because they say it does help rejuvenate a lot of body tissue, and it helps with overall performance and athleticism. And you don't have to take like large amounts of it. And if you take it in moderate doses, you can see some muscle gain, but you kind of just more so retain like your youthfulness is basically what it is. And for a guy like that, I could see that being the most beneficial in a sport like that. Mm-hmm. Baseball, you don't have to be ginormous. You don't have to be this, behemoth of a person. You just got to be athletic, strong, know your mechanics, able to run, and, know the game.
Yeah, because I feel like if he gets too strong, it's just like,
Yeah, imagine if he just got like it
yeah,
would kind of be pointless, you know. That's what like. So I'm thinking like, was it like HGH or something like that? Like just because what is I've heard of just like taking like one what is like one little microdose or however many like little tiny ones just to kind of just keep you going. Um, and I could also see how he could like make an appeal to the MLB though, as far as like health going, like his health, because I've heard of guys saying like as they get older, you know, like TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and they say like that kind of also increases the aging process as you lose testosterone like faster. So he may could have said like something like, no, I need to take like HGH and like some type of TRT to help just with my overall health. Like it's not me trying to cheat. I just want to be healthy.
I'm just 38
Like,
years old. I'm feeling old now. Like, let me be young
yeah,
again.
exactly. Like I want to feel. I want that extra spring in my step. He's probably got kids right now. You know, that are like 10, 11, like right there in that prime, like really like you know wanting to be outside and play and stuff. And he's probably like, dang man, no, look, I've been playing 180, 100, and however many games, you know, like a season. Like I it's all finally caught up to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to feel young. That's the
Yeah, 'cause,
only
I mean,
thing.
he's not just played the 162. I mean, especially playing with those Yankees teams, going to the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, that's what, well, also, bro, all those guys go back over to their home countries and they play.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't just play like one game a day. They play from sun up to sundown, bro. Like that's they ball out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when they make it big like that, they still go home. They go watch those games. They go play in those games because they meet up with their old friends. Like you can watch all those on YouTube. So like when I'm saying like he's playing 180 some games, that's a genuine like 180. No matter he's getting all of them, you know, in the MLB, like, but he's getting all those innings in somewhere though. Sometime he's on a baseball field that much.
So with this, I wonder if with this 162 game suspension, does that allow him to go play and like, will the Mets allow him to go play like in the DR or somewhere
I don't
else?
think it'll be. He probably so
It won't be
he
public
couldn't.
knowledge if he does, but
Well, he won't be under contract. Like
yeah.
he probably can't sign another contract with anybody. But if he plays just for him playing, I think they kind of have to let him be as far as that goes. Like, I don't think he could go play for like another huge league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't probably go play for the Mexican League or he couldn't go play for the
We're not about to see
Venezuelan League.
Robinson Cano in the KBO over there, but like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Like they couldn't sign him over there, stuff like that. But I definitely think like if he just went back home and played, or what is it like? Puerto Rico has like the it's called like double A or double A, something like that. But it's kind
yeah.
of like a pro series with like top talent. He could probably plan something like that. Just to kind of keep getting at
I was
bats.
gonna say, it sounds like he's going to be able to see. He's going to be able to see baseball even with
Yeah.
being suspended.
Oh
He's
yeah.
not going
Oh
to
yeah.
probably make the millions that he should be making, probably.
Yeah, but he's probably sitting on a few of those anyway, just comfortable.
Yeah, easily. One thing that I know last week when we ended, I gave picks, went undefeated last week.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I want to give everyone some college football picks here, and
All right.
we have to do them together. It's an all or nothing this week, so it's a teaser. It's 3 teams, 3 games, and they're all overs. So Oklahoma State game, the over is currently set at 58.5 points total.
Okay, total. Okay.
The U.
Well,
Sorry,
do
go
they
ahead.
say who they have winning those games?
I can get to that in a second. But
Okay.
so Oklahoma State over 58.5, UCF Cincinnati over 63.5, and then Clemson Florida State over 63.5. I have a 7-point teaser, which for anyone that doesn't understand what that means, you take 7 points in your favor away from that over to be able to hit that. So it makes the Oklahoma game 51.5, UCF Cincinnati game 56.5, and the Clemson Florida State game 56.5 as well. All 3 of those hit. $100 wins 140. So you can turn 100 into walk out with 240 as opposed to your 100 you had. So
yeah, exactly.
that's my picks for the weekend. I think Oklahoma obviously scores 1 billion points, and I think Oklahoma State's going to try to keep up with them.
I think they're ranked higher than us right now, though.
Currently, yes. But at the end of the day, I think both teams scoring in the 20s is very easy to do. One team is at least going to score 30 points.
Exactly.
Same with the Cincinnati UCF game. That game's probably going to hit 80 at some point. So I'll happily take 56 and a half on a Tuesday.
Dude, I like UCF. They go out there and they ball.
See, I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to be very interesting. I think.
Yeah, what they're ranked like 7th right now, right? Or like something like that.
Like 6 or 7. Yeah, they're up there. And then the Clemson Florida State game. Clemson's going to score 60 by themselves on Florida State. Trevor Lawrence has a lot to do to make up for the missing 2 games. Clemson's lost a game.
Exactly.
They're going to have to go out there and embarrass Florida State, and I think they will. So even if Florida State scores 2 times, whether that's a touchdown field goal, that's 10 points, or whether that's 2 touchdowns, that's 14. You got to get Clemson to score 42. That's 6 touchdowns. They might have that in the first half.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt Clemson's going to cover those. So those are my 3 for the weekend. I think we're going to have some very interesting college football. I mean, I think Oklahoma State game is going to determine the winner of the Big 12.
Oh yeah, but see, okay. Thing is, this is going to pain me to say. This really is. You can never really fully count Texas out of that. As weird as that is.
Yeah.
Like, they just always kind of linger right there. Them and then TCU. Those are 2, I don't know why, but it always happens. They're just like, right there like, oh, if this person loses this one and they win, and you're like, God, just go away. Yeah. Go away. But no, because I think we have 2 we might have 2 conference losses. Pretty sure we do.
That's
and this would be Oklahoma State's first conference loss and first loss, I'm pretty sure.
No, they're 5-1 currently.
5-1, okay. Who did they lose to?
They have a loss to give me 1 second here. They lost to Texas.
See, dude, I told you. See what I'm saying? They're always just kind of right there in this weird spot of like always being like a possibility.
So the other crazy thing, the team that beat you guys, Iowa State, is currently the number 1 team in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's not too unusual. They were that, I think, like the past 2 years until like we played and beat them, or they got beat by somebody else.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I could see them losing another game at some point. But worst case, if Oklahoma Iowa State is the rematch in the Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma's not gonna lose to them twice.
No, and also Iowa State, they are such a tough team against us that first time. Dude, think about it, over the past 3 years, I think they've beaten us twice out of the 3. Pretty sure. Whether it be like just by a few points or a lot, somehow they just make it happen.
That's brutal. I would not want to be the team that says we lost to Iowa State all the time. But
dude, they're a solid team. I don't know if you ever watched them play, but like they are just they're I mean, just look at TCU for like what was it, 2 years ago? TCU had the number 1 defense in the country. Now, though that is playing Big 12 teams, that's saying a whole lot though. Like
there's a lot of offense. That's playing a lot of good offenses.
Yeah, they were holding teams down to like 46 yards a game, like something crazy like that. I mean, Oklahoma busted that wide open, but it's just like those type of teams right there. I don't know why, but like they're solid, but they're missing something that gets them over that hump to stay like top contender. Which I mean, I don't mind because Oklahoma, that's me all the way.
Yeah.
But
no, I think the interesting game for me is the Ohio State Indiana game. So Ohio State is a 20.5 point favorite to open up against Indiana. So they're
saying they're going to score 28.5 plus.
So they're saying that they should win by almost 3 touchdowns, basically.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That means that we have either been very fooled by Indiana, or we don't know what Ohio State is capable.
28 is 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, but 20.5 is.
Oh, I thought you said 28.5.
Not 20.5.
That's like, Jesus.
I see that changing closer to probably somewhere around like the 17-18 mark around kickoff on Saturday. So,
Yeah.
but still, Ohio State favored by double digits over an Indiana team that.
Okay, but let's be honest. I mean,
can
Indiana
score.
hasn't earned a reason for them not to have that. Ohio State
But
has
Ohio State
proven,
has not played any defense this year
yeah, but Ohio State has proven that they can absolutely tear teams apart, though.
on offense. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they can, and then when they need to make defense, I mean, they can make the stops. Dude, they should have beaten Clemson right there in the playoffs. That should have happened.
Yeah, should
But you
have.
see, they made the defensive stops though when they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? That was that fumble call that didn't go their way, or
Interception call.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that weird thing. Like it was strange like that. So I could easily see them making a couple of stops on Indiana not knowing how that feels to be a rider like that, feeling like they got something to prove, and Ohio State is just like, this is just another game for us. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
And I can see them
See.
getting into cruise mode.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see if they cover. That's winning by 3 touchdowns is asking a lot, especially against a top 10 team. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Indiana is real or not. But for NFL wise, seeing our Seattle versus Arizona rematch on Thursday Night Football, that's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, especially after how Arizona finished up.
Kyler just slinging that thing to Jumpman Hopkins.
Man, oh yeah, that has to be one of the top plays of this new decade.
So they say that catch alone generated over $5.7 million in revenue for Nike. Because Hopkins had the Jordan gloves on above all the Adidas gloves when he caught it. And so they've made so much money off of that, bro. Unreal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy, dude.
It was like the perfect marketing scheme for Jordan and Nike, bro.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Because every little kid when I was like, I want those. Not those.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be a good game. Titans play the Ravens. The last time they played was obviously playoffs last year, so that'll be interesting. Both teams are kind of on a down slope, if you will.
Well, I feel like Lamar feels like he has something to prove too.
Well, you better start proving it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying as far as like you said from last year, and just like I think aren't they like they're like super close as far as like in the race for contention for that division, right?
The Steelers are undefeated.
Right.
Ravens are close, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have to get a wild card spot because of the Steelers being undefeated. They're sitting at 6-3. So I mean, they lose this game, and if the Browns win,
the Ravens are.
Yeah, the Browns and the Ravens are both 6-3. So if the Ravens lose and the Browns win, the Browns are above Baltimore. So it's like this is a must win for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of just looking to see. So them and the Titans are 6-3, but the Titans would still, they would still be at least in the hunt for the AFC South. But like you said, with the Browns, they would overtake the Ravens and be closer in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
and we could see 3 AFC North teams in the playoffs.
Can you really?
Yeah, I mean, based off their record, because I mean, the only guaranteed spots you have is as a division winner. So we're guaranteed 4 teams.
Right. I saw that the wild card generator the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I wish I would have remembered it. Shoot, because it had it like laid out, like exactly like how I could go. So I mean, I kind of already gave my favorites and stuff of like who I want to see in the Super Bowl, but I do think that, like you said, that this would be a good game. I don't know if it means as much to the Titans though. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it means more to the Ravens to win this than it does to the Titans, because the Titans feel like they still will have an opportunity. Like the Ravens, they're trying to prove from last year, plus on top of still stay in the hunt. To say no, we are still a dominant team. We can still. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it though. I want to see it. Speaking of just football, professional football in general, man, I'm not that impressed with the Patriots either. I don't know if you watch any of their games, but I've only watched a couple, and I was just like,
so it's
kind of sloppy.
Well, the big thing is like they're playing all backups. So
Okay.
they had like 7 or 8 players on defense opt out. So like
Mm,
they're playing all backups basically. And Gilmore has been hurt or trying to get traded or just tired of playing with backups. I don't know what his deal is, but he like put his house up for sale, all those kind of things in New England. So um, he has not played the last few weeks. So he did not play against the Ravens um, on Sunday when they beat them.
yeah.
The biggest thing is they're just trying to play bully ball, which is what Bill does best. Like they're like saying, Cam, you can do X, Y, and Z, but we're not asking you to do too much at this point. They're just running the ball.
Yeah, yeah. But see, from the games, so I hadn't watched like the full games, but just like what I do, like the parts, like it's kind of sloppy, and even so, I still expect a certain level of even from backups, and so that's why I'm like I don't know that they need to get something figured out over there. But I know another thing with it too is if it's looking that sloppy, then I know Cam views it as sloppy too. And if you only have him there for a year on a year contract, how do you convince a guy like that to stay again? You know what I mean? Because he's on
Yeah.
a quest to prove himself, and he's like, "Look, I can't prove that here in a sloppy place. Like, if you can't convince guys to opt in to play after I'm here giving you this, I don't want to continue to waste these years somewhere like this." That's how I would imagine he's viewing this.
The only thing with Cam is like I want to know like did anybody else not really call him? Like nobody else called Cam. Like nobody else said like come at least work out for us. Like how was New
Right.
England the only team that gave him this opportunity?
I mean, they say he's a lot, but
Yeah. But I mean New England's not the place to be if you're a lot. Because I mean,
right.
even Ocho Cinco said that. Like Ocho Cinco was there. He said like I didn't even unpack my bags because he's like that system like is it's built different. Like
Yeah,
not for everybody.
right. I don't know if he would say. Wait, he was coming back off that injury, right?
Mm-hmm. Couple
I
different
could,
injuries.
yeah, I could see how nobody called him because you got to think, okay,
But like
we,
The Bears chose to pick Nick Foles over Cam Newton.
but Nick Foles had just came off a Super Bowl win. Nick Foles didn't have any
A
injuries.
couple years ago though, like that's the thing. Like it was still a couple seasons off, and he just looked terrible in Philly again, and then looked terrible in Jackson.
It was. Didn't they traded for him right at the end of the following season?
No, he went to Jacksonville first, and then he just
That's right. That's right. And then yes,
yeah
because it was a Gardner Minshew or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
Uh,
there's so many teams, brother, could use a quarterback. That like
oh yeah.
how was
Now
Cam not
see,
called?
I think. So we're viewing this as like Cam said. Like nobody called me, but we don't know that Cam didn't put out a list of I will only accept calls from 4
Yeah.
teams, and then out of those 4 teams, that one team called back. You know what I mean? Because you got to think he was coming back off of an injury. They say at the time Cam has things that he likes to do a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big time player who makes big plays. That comes with a big. Well, he didn't take a big contract here though. He only took that one
year, 1 million.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess and you also got to look and see like what can you do with him in your system too. Like, are you willing to work your system with him?
And I think the Patriots have done a good job of trying to incorporate him
Oh
into
yeah.
that. Because I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
obviously like going from Tom Brady to Cam Newton. That's literally apples to oranges, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as to I like wouldn't don't you think the Patriots probably should have well no, but at least hear this out. Philip Rivers goes to the Patriots.
yeah, I think it's literally like a easy transition.
Yeah, but see, the only thing is
But he has no weapons. He has no weapon. That's the thing. Is New England has no receivers.
Well, he's also used to playing in hot weather too. That's why I think Indianapolis made the most sense being indoors.
I don't know. He's a football guy. Philip Rivers is just a football guy, you know.
You think? I think though 20 years over somewhere though or close to, not fully, but
yeah,
that'll spoil you a bit when that New England right now
California.
it's snowing. Yeah, you're like, I hadn't seen snow in ages, and nor was it on accident every time I did see it, it was on purpose.
Yeah.
I went to the snow. It
Yeah.
did not come to me. So like, it's I could have saw that, and I want to say I could see Cam like, you know, at Indianapolis. I felt like that could have worked all right, but again, I don't know, you know, who he talked to or what.
I mean, I definitely agree. I think because they had Jacoby Brissett, I think the Brissett to Cam Newton is an easy swap, and I think Brady to Rivers is more of a comparable swap for both teams.
Exactly.
But again, the Patriots have nobody right now, so they're gonna have to keep running the ball and hoping everyone stays healthy. Because there's a chance they could finish 9-7 somewhere in that area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe even 10-6 if they get hot. I mean.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. I like the 9-7.
Yeah. I mean, their schedule is favorable moving forward. I mean, you have the Jets, you have the Dolphins who are hot, they have the Bills who are hot. They could win those 3 games and still potentially win the division based on how everyone else plays each other. So that's kind of the interesting thing. They have the Texans this week. I think they should beat the Texans. The Texans are pretty bad.
But you said they got to be 2 hot teams to do it, though.
Yeah, but that's the end of the season, though. So are those teams playing? Are those teams locked up playoff spots at that point? Is the division locked up at that point? Who's playing? Is Tua still in? Is Josh Allen still in for Buffalo at that point? Are the Jets looking at 0-16 at that point? That's the last game of the season. There's a chance they can be 0-15 playing New England.
Yeah,
that'd not be good.
I'm just has anybody went 0 for?
I don't know about
the
that.
Dolphins got close once.
That Lions team was at.
I think they had. I thought they had 2 though.
No, the 08 Lions went 0-16.
Jesus. And wasn't it like Calvin Johnson's like last year close to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you not win a game when you have Calvin Johnson, bro? Just throw it up.
I don't know why he didn't ever leave. That's my thing. Why didn't he leave there? Go somewhere else. He undervalued himself. They undervalued him. It's just that whole situation handling of him.
Wasted his career. He could have won any amount of Super Bowls he wanted.
Like, and this dude, gosh, man. What time is it? All right, so do you want to get into the sneaker deal thing?
No, we will save it for the next episode for the people.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about our ideal best fit off of a scenario we've gotten off of a sneaker deal, but we will leave you with that cliffhanger. And
gotta tune in next week or Sunday.
Yeah, next on Monday.
It is next week.
Oh, so on Monday. Sorry, next Monday.
Monday. Okay. But, so it is next week.
Hey, all I know is the plays on Anchor and all those streaming platforms have been going up. So
thank you guys for the support. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you to our YouTube viewership and our audio platform. What is it? DSP platform.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, we appreciate you guys. We like to bring good content to y'all, and we enjoy chatting it up. So thank y'all.
If you like the podcast, share it with somebody. If you don't like it, just forget you listened to it and come back next episode. Hopefully it's better.
You got any closing thoughts, any closing words?
And as always, just thank you to everyone that's listening and showing the support and sharing the podcast. The feedback is definitely important. We can't be successful and we can't give you the content you want without the feedback. So we definitely appreciate it and definitely need some more of it. So that's all I got.
I piggyback that same thing too. Let us know what type of content you guys want to hear. Whenever Drake does his weekly picks, send us some to the email. What is it? ambitiousjourneypod@gmail.com. Send those over. Let us know like what you think and like what your picks are to that week.
Yeah, let us know if you're riding or if you're fading.
Yeah.
We're all trying to make money here. This is
exactly
a team sport.
And I don't know if I got any other closing words. Stay safe. Be careful of those vaccines that they're putting out.
Don't be the first one to take it.
Yeah. Be mindful. And be clean. Wash your hands. Wash your face. And let's have a good holiday season.
Hey, yo. Till next time.
Till next time.